Have you ever prayed for something, healing, breakthrough, success, direction, financial relief, success, peace, love, and yet nothing seems to change? You prayed again, you fast, you believe harder, you speak faith, but the same patterns keep repeating. At some point, a quiet question appears in your mind. Why does it seem like my prayers are not being answered? Today, I want to explore a truth that many people avoid, not to challenge faith, but to deepen it. Because unanswered prayer is often not rejection, it is misalignment. Let me tell you a story about Michael. Michael was deeply spiritual. He prayed every morning and every night. He believed in God, he believed in miracles, he believed in destiny, but his life felt stuck. He prayed for financial growth, yet stayed in scarcity. He prayed for peace, yet stayed anxious. He prayed for a healthy relationship, yet repeated painful cycles. At some point, frustration began creeping in. One evening, he said quietly, I believe God hears me, so why does my life still look the same? That question changed everything. Here's what Michael slowly realized. Prayer is intention, but your nervous system is execution. You may consciously desire abundance, love, peace, and growth, but if your subconscious beliefs, emotional patterns, and identity are still programmed for fear, lack, or survival, your life will obey the deeper program. Not the words you speak, not the prayers you speak, not the prayers you repeat, but the identity you embody. You cannot consistently experience what your nervous system does not feel safe receiving. Michael wanted the financial growth, but his body carried anxiety around responsibility. He feared failure, he feared visibility, he feared expansion. So even though he prayed for growth, his nervous system quietly resisted the very thing he asked for. Opportunities made him uncomfortable. Risk triggered fear. Success felt unsafe. Unconsciously, he stayed where he was failure. His prayer was sincere, but internal wiring was contracting it. He's also contradicting his prayer. This doesn't mean God ignores prayers. It means prayer invites transformation, but transformation requires internal cooperation. You don't just pray for change, you become the person who can sustain the change. Faith is not only belief, faith is embodiment. Your thoughts, your emotional reactions, your habits, your self-image, this determines what your nervous system allows into your life. And that's what works. Many people pray for a new life while emotionally living in the old one. They pray for confidence, but rehearse fears daily. Then they pray for love, but carry unresolved pain. They pray for abundance, but emotionally rehearse scarcity. They prayed for peace, but stayed addicted to stress. Your nervous system learns from repetition, not intention alone. What you repeatedly feel becomes what feels normal. What feels normal becomes what your life reproduces. Michael began observing himself honestly. He noticed how tension lived in his body, how fear shaped in his decision, and how his thoughts contradicted his prayers, how his emotions stayed anchored in the past. Instead of only praying outwardly, he began training inwardly. He practiced calmly his nervous system. He challenged limited belief. He chose emotional regulation over reaction. He rehearsed gratitude instead of fear. He practiced becoming aligned with the future he prayed for. Slowly, his internal world shifted. And as his internal world changed, opportunities began appearing. His confidence stabilized. His decision-making improved. His relationships softened. His peace deepened. Not magically, but naturally. You see, prayer opens the door. Alignment allows you to walk through it. Your life doesn't respond to what you ask for once. It responds to what you emotionally practice daily. This is why two people can pray for the same thing and experience different outcomes. One aligns internally, the other stayed emotionally wired to the past. Ask yourself honestly, what do I consistently feel? What emotional state do I rehearse daily? What identity do I consciously live from? What fears still shapes my choices? Because your nervous system is always listening, even when your mouth is praying. This does not remove God from the equation. It invites responsibility into the equation. Grace meets readiness, faith meets embodiment, and prayer meets alignment. When your inner world becomes congruent with your prayer, reality begins responding. You were not designed to beg life endlessly. You were designed to grow into the capacity of what you desire. Your prayers are invitation to revolve. Your prayers are invitation to evolve. You need to evolve yourself. Your nervous system is the gateway to manifestation. Your identity determines what stays. When your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors align with your faith, your life begins moving naturally in the direction you have been praying for all this while. And that is the only time you can get success with your prayer.